Today, we've got a story that's, well, it's pretty special. It's about an imagined but incredibly powerful conversation between two absolute giants of the 20th century. Werner Heisenberg, the physicist who basically told us certainty was an illusion, and Rabindranath Tagore, the poet who could find the entire universe in a single blade of grass. Let's get into this amazing meeting of minds.
And this right here, this is the question that really haunted Werner Heisenberg. I mean, think about it. You rewrite the laws of physics, you make this world-changing discovery, and it leaves you completely adrift. This question goes way beyond physics. It digs right into the heart of what it even means to know something.
So let's start with the scientist himself. Heisenberg was, a genius, a Nobel laureate, but the very thing that made him famous, his greatest contribution, also became this huge philosophical weight on his shoulders.
Okay, so the principle itself sounds kind of straightforward, but its implications are just massive. What it really means is that down at the tiniest quantum level, the simple act of looking at something changes it. You can know where a particle is, or you can know where it's going, but you can never, ever know both at the same time with perfect precision. It's just not possible.
And this was what was eating Heisenberg alive. This was the big question. Was this uncertainty thing just a limitation of our tools, of how we measure things, or, and this is the scary part, did it mean that reality itself, at its very core, is fundamentally fuzzy, indefinite, just plain uncertain?
So, looking for some clarity, our story takes Heisenberg on a journey. He leaves the rigid, formal lecture halls of Europe and travels to a place where knowledge literally breathes under an open sky. Santiniketan, the home of the poet Rabindranath Tagore.
Just try to imagine the contrast here. Heisenberg comes from a world of blackboards, of strict equations, of sterile labs, and he arrives in a place where education is all tangled up with nature, and art, and music. It's a place designed to grow the soul, not just cram the intellect.
So here we have it. These two perspectives are about to collide. On one side, you've got a scientist who's wrestling with the absolute limits of what we can know, and on the other, a poet who's totally comfortable with mystery, who finds meaning not just in words, but in the quiet spaces between them. So Heisenberg comes to the poet with this heavy, heavy question, really hoping he'll get an answer. But what Tagore gives him instead is a completely different way of looking at the problem itself. Wow, what a response. Tagore doesn't even try to solve the physics problem. He just flips the entire issue on its head. He's basically saying that our obsession with measuring everything, with demanding certainty, can actually kill the very thing we're trying to experience. The problem isn't with reality, he says. It's with our own ego, which just can't stand not being in control.
But Heisenberg, he's still a scientist. He pushes back. His whole world is built on finding laws that are predictable, that are solid. If the very foundation of nature is shaky and uncertain, doesn't that make the whole project of science kind of fragile?
And this is where Tagore comes back with one of the most beautiful metaphors in their whole talk. He argues that this uncertainty, it isn't a weakness at all. It's actually a strength. It's a kind of humility. It's what allows knowledge to be flexible, to bend and flow until it finds its way to a much deeper truth, just like a river finds its way to the ocean.
Then Tagore builds on this. He brings in this core idea from Indian philosophy. He talks about the drashta, who is the observer, and the drishya, the thing being observed. And he says they're not two separate things. They actually pop into existence together. He says, the moon in the water trembles when the water trembles, yet we blame the moon. It's the same thing, right? The physicist who is observing the particle is part of the system he's observing. You can't separate them.
And this is the real turning point for Heisenberg. He starts to realize that his equations, his math, might be describing something much, much deeper than just the physical world. Tagore tells him that his discovery wasn't a failure to find certainty. It was a moment of profound wisdom. He's saying that Heisenberg's equations are like a poem, written in the language of math, that shows how the universe refuses to be a dead, predictable machine. The moment you touch reality, or life, it responds with this beautiful, living uncertainty.
This slide really boils down Tagore's whole perspective. Certainty, he's arguing, is for machines. It's cold, it's a tool we use to dominate and control things. But uncertainty, that belongs to life itself. It forces us to be humble, to be responsible, to be honest about what we don't know.
And here's the stark warning. When we chase after knowledge just for the sake of control, without any sense of wonder or reverence for the mystery of it all, that's when knowledge can become dangerous. It's a powerful message, and honestly, it feels more relevant today than ever before. So as their incredible conversation starts to wind down, something really profound shifts inside Heisenberg. And it's not that he's found some neat little answer to his question, it's something way more valuable. He just lets go of that need to conquer the problem. Instead, he accepts this deeper truth that the poet has shown him. His principle isn't some flaw in the universe's design, it's a feature. It's the universe's way of telling us that it's alive.
And their final exchange? Oh, it's just perfect. It's a true meeting of minds, a perfect blend of science and art. The physicist finds meaning in his work, and the poet finds this huge cosmic canvas for his ideas. They've both made each other's worlds bigger.
You know, if there's one single line to take away from this whole thing, it's this one. It's such a powerful reminder of what it means to be alive. Not in some static puzzle box that needs to be solved, but in a dynamic, unfolding story that we get to be a part of.
So that really is the question for all of us, isn't it? In our work, in our relationships, in our own beliefs, where are we acting like machines, demanding predictable results? This conversation leaves us with some big ideas to chew on, that uncertainty is a sign of life, not a flaw, that we're always connected to the world we observe, and that knowledge without a sense of wonder is incomplete. It's an incredible lesson from the meeting of a physicist and a poet, one that rings as true today as it ever did.